You're not gonna like it. Get that thing away from me. I can't believe it. I hate the new Land Cruiser. Hey everybody, I'm Jeff Teague with Toyota Jeff Reviews. Thanks for hitting subscribe. I appreciate you all. I'm gonna talk about the Land Cruiser. It made its world premiere last month and it is beautiful. It's rugged, it's retro modern, I would call it. 3 different trim levels, 1958, the Land Cruiser trim, and then first edition, all with its each set of unique properties and characteristics and features and technology. I'm a huge fan of Land Cruiser. It's one of the best redesigns I have ever seen Toyota come up with. This is fantastic, so let's get to it. The top 6 things that people will not like, they might even hate about new Land Cruiser. And when I give you these top 6 things, I'm gonna read some of your comments because as creators, we all know the comments that are gonna be coming. It's easy when a new vehicle comes out. We always look at all the great things about it, but we also know the top 1, 2, or 3 things that we're gonna get comments about that people aren't gonna like right away. Some, they're justified. Some people are just gonna have to get used to because it's completely different. Number 1, how could you go from a V8 engine in the old US Land Cruiser to a 4-cylinder? I mean, geez, the nerve of going from that 5.7 liter V8 engine, 381 horsepower, 401 pound-feet of torque. But here's what Toyota did. iForce Max, that goes from the 2.4 liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine with electric motor power. That's gonna give you 326 horsepower, 465 pound-feet of torque. That low-end drive, that low-end, it's gonna be strong. This one's gonna be faster than the outgoing Land Cruiser. We've got more low-end torque. That's big, right? And here's the thing. Remember that the Land Cruiser, the old, let's say 2020 US Land Cruiser, that one got 13 in the city, 17 on the highway, 14 combined. This one here is probably gonna approach somewhere in the high 20s. Pretty strong stuff, maybe 27. Doubt it'll go to 30, but you never know. I'm excited to see. We'll find that out as it gets closer to actual launch. But imagine, improved gas mileage, better low-end power. Whew. It's gonna be huge. And what about the off-roading tools that come with this thing now? It's got multi-terrain select that you can do 4-wheel drive high and 4-wheel drive low. Crawl control, sophisticated system that's quiet, it's smooth. We've got the front stabilizer bar disconnect. So on trails, it can give you more flex. That's huge. Just pop that button. Look what you can do now. We got downhill assist control. There's so much going on. What about locking rear differential? So all these off-roading tools, we'll see skid plates on some of them. There's a lot going on here and huge improvements. So don't be too scared of that V8 engine because we've got more power, more efficiency. This may be the way to go. All right, this next one is a goodie. It's too small. We were expecting something huge, a gigantic beast, the Land Cruiser, tough one, right? Well, we still got a tough one, but it is smaller than the previous one. It's 4.4 inches narrower than the 200 series. That's something like the 2020 Land Cruiser. It's also gonna be narrower than the 300 series overseas. That's what a lot of people were hoping was gonna come to the US, but that one's not all that much smaller, really. If you look at the specs, a little bit, but not that much smaller. It's a little bit bigger than the Land Cruiser Prado, a little bit smaller than the 300 series, so kind of wedged in its own little piece there. We knew as creators that the 300 series wasn't coming to the US. This one here is pretty darn cool though. Here's what I will tell you. The specifications aside, when you get in this vehicle, it's got good headroom, good legroom in the first and the second row. And I find it's not a vehicle that's gonna be too small. As a matter of fact, if you're a Land Cruiser enthusiast or off-roading dudette, you might find that it's easier to maneuver and take on the trails. It won't be so cumbersome and bulky, especially sideways. But you can manage the trails a little bit better. So think about that. Maybe it's an advantage. Reason number 3, Land Cruiser. And actually this is a tough one to dispute because, well, there is no third row. You're absolutely right about that. But one thing I'll tell you about Toyota SUVs is the third row isn't always the most practical, the most spacious. We've got not the best one in the current generation of Forerunner. Probably the best one right now is Toyota Grand Highlander. It's got really good headroom space, good legroom space, even in the third row. So that's pretty cool, even in the third row. We are talking about the third row. What are you talking about, Jeff? But anyway, the Sequoia, it's a little bit short in the third row. So the Land Cruiser, remember, that was the one that kind of folded up. The seats kind of folded up like this and down. So that also wasn't the most practical idea, but maybe that's something that you'll be okay with. And if you got a large family, well, maybe the new Land Cruiser is not gonna be the right one to pick. That's weird, I'm by a Forerunner. Reason number 4, if the Land Cruiser's smaller and it's not priced at $90,000 anymore, does that mean the Forerunner's gone? I hate you, Land Cruiser. Why are you taking away the Forerunner? Here's what I'll tell you about that. Forerunner is an icon. It's a legacy. It's one of the cornerstone pieces of the Toyota lineup. Forerunner's not going anywhere, my friends. We've got this one. We've had the same body style for a long time. It's probably due for a change. Trust me, Forerunner's not going one single spot. It'll remain in the lineup. I just know it will. And as far as the price point, well, the Land Cruiser, this is an advantage now. Remember, it's smaller. Some people say it has a smaller engine. Well, it doesn't have that $85,000, $90,000 price tag anymore like we saw back in the early 2020s. No, this one starts in the middle 50s. So if we get something that starts at 55, 56, 57, 58, right in that range, look at the cost savings. So I think the Land Cruiser will probably be priced somewhere around like, say 55 to 70, 75. I really don't know. 3 trim levels, how are they going to stagger it? Could be 55 to 65 or 70. I really don't know. But Land Cruiser will not interfere with Forerunner business at all. No, because the Forerunner is going to be priced probably around 40 to 55, right in that range. That's sort of the N4 TRD Pro Forerunner right now, right in that range, the top level. So it's probably going to be low 40s to mid 50s, let's say, for the Forerunner. No conflict. Reason number 5, you won't like the Land Cruiser, 6,000 pound tow capacity. Previous generation Land Cruiser had a towing capacity of 8,100 pounds. It's now up to 6,000 pounds. Not sure if it's gonna be that way for all 3 trim levels, 1958, Land Cruiser, and First Edition, but it might be, or it could be staggered up to that. I really don't know, but that should be sufficient for most people's campers, boats, trailers, things like that. But if you did want the 8,000 pound tow capacity, then again, the new Land Cruiser, if you have to have 6,000 pounds plus 2,000 more, well, that might not be the one for you. Reason number 6, this deals with the 1958 trim level, that fantastic price point right there that's teasing everybody. It's like a carrot right in front of the donkey. Middle 50s. That is incredibly strong. You really need to check this out. It's a great value, but a lot of people wrote comments of, cloth seats for middle 50s? I don't want that. I want something more. Well, I don't know how that's going to work out, but that's the way they did the base entry level, because there are people, remember, that don't like Softex seats or leather seats. They want just cloth seats. They don't want a lot of bells and whistles. 1958 trim could be perfect for them. It's iconic. It's, again, retro modern because it looks old, but it looks so futuristic and new and just really cool. I'm a huge fan. But cloth seats, 8-inch multimedia touchscreen, now those things could be upgrades. Maybe there's an upgrade package that we don't know about yet where you can upgrade to Softex or leather seats. You can also add that after the fact at maybe a dealership level, add in leather seats. Maybe that's something you could do. So there are ways around that one, but you can get the larger multimedia touchscreen. Could be an option package to upgrade on the 1958, but you'll get that on the other ones, the Land Cruiser trim, and the First Edition. So there, again, ways to find the best value. You just have to figure out what your point is. It's like the Price is Right when you're playing one of those pricing games. You have to find where to stop, and stop. Big winner, dun, 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 dun. And again, as creators, when we go to world premieres, to debuts, to media test drive days, we kind of have an idea of what kind of comments we're gonna be getting, because we can think of the objections, and we all have some of our own, like, oh, I love this vehicle, it's really cool, but I wonder about this, or I'm not a fan of this, or I don't like the lights, or I don't like the seats, or there's always something that, I mean, we're buyers too, we're fans, but we can be objective. So again, lots of good things, but there'll be some things we don't like. So that's why I think this video kill the radio star. I think that's why this video was important, because it highlights some of your objections, so you can say, oh yeah, I had that question too. It's like in class when you got a question and you raise your hand and teacher calls on it. You know somebody else in the class had a question, they just didn't say anything. So maybe this has helped you, and I tried to alleviate some of your fears, concerns, or worries about the objections you had. Just be patient and give it a chance and see if you get used to it. Maybe it's not for you. Maybe you just don't want a hybrid. Go to that V8, right? Anyway, thanks guys so much. I really appreciate you all. I'm at Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Toyota Jeff Reviews. And then I'm at Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Auto Jeff Reviews, my 2 channels. Thanks everybody so much. Peace to the world. I hope you enjoyed the volunteer vehicles in the background, Tacomas, Tundras, Sequoias, and Forerunners. I did not show one single live Land Cruiser in this video. I'm so excited. Woo! All right, please check out my playlist of Land Cruiser videos. You can see a lot of stuff there, so just click play. Thank you guys so much, and click that playlist. See you guys next time.